Welcome to Health Club with Julia. I'm your host, health coach, and registered dietitian, Julia Campagna. I'm on a mission to bridge the gap between looking your best and living your life to the fullest. After years of over dieting, struggling with disordered eating, and destroying my social life, I finally found how to reach my dream physique without sacrificing the things I love. Now I'm sharing all my strategies and education with you. We'll be talking all things health, including hormones, metabolism, and lifestyle to help you cut out the confusion and start living. So get cozy and join the club. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Health Club with Julia podcast. As always, I am so happy you are here and I hope you are having a fantastic day. I'm going to be hitting you hard with a bit of tough love in this episode because, I want you to be successful. I am somebody who just wants women to win. I am a woman supporter. I want you to be successful, but some women are not. And I want to kind of go over with you today on this podcast episode what it kind of takes to be successful and kind of check in with yourself and say, am I doing these things? Am I not doing these things? Is this why I'm not successful? Is this something else? But regardless, if you want to see results, if you want to see progress, I want to give you some keys to success. And so, I've coached over 100 women, and honestly, not everyone is going to be successful. I've coached a lot of women. Are they all very, very successful? Honestly, no. And if any coach tells you otherwise, they are lying to you because it's not even realistic for hundreds and hundreds of women to be successful with that one person. But, as a coach, we can't do the work for you. Yes, we provide a framework. We provide you with protocols. We guide you. We problem solve with you. We are giving you as many tools as we possibly can for you to be successful. But some either don't use those tools effectively, don't listen to what needs to be done, or simply just don't do the work. And so not every client is going to be successful. But over the years, and have been coaching so many women, I have found a few things in common with clients that are successful, and that's what I want to talk about today. 5 things that my most successful clients all have in common, and these are going to be your keys to success. Whether you are working with me or you are not, these things can pertain to you. I'm going to be talking in a way that you are a client of mine, and this is how you can be successful in my coaching program. But this does apply to even if you are not in my coaching program currently. These are still things that you should be doing for yourself, or if you're even in another coaching program, these are things that you should be doing to be successful. Again, we can give you all the tools, we can give you the framework, we can give you the support and guidance, but it will not work if you don't do these few things, if you are not all in on yourself. And so let's go through a quick list. This is probably going to be a pretty quick episode here, but let's go through a little list here. Number 1, the thing that my most successful clients have in common is showing up. Showing up in all aspects. They show up for themselves, they show up for me as their coach, and they do the work that's necessary. They take what I suggest, right? So I said, I can provide frameworks, I can provide protocols, I can provide guidance, support, suggestions, all the things. If you don't take them and use them, you're not going to be successful. So they take what I suggest and provide for them, and they run with it. And they go all in on themselves, and they show up for themselves every single day, and they show up for me every single day. The thing about progress and improving your health and reaching whatever goal it is that you have, if you don't show up for yourself, if you have a coach, but more importantly, if you don't show up for yourself, how do you expect to win? How do you expect to be successful if you can't even show up for yourself? This is probably the biggest out of the 5 things that I will mention today. show up for your damn self. You owe it to yourself to go out there and fucking kill it. And you owe it to yourself too if you have somebody else who's guiding you. If you have a coach, you also owe it to them, because they are doing this work for you. They are here to support you, so show that you care. It's not about doing the bare minimum. It's about doing what needs to be done day in and day out to be successful. So don't just scratch the surface. Don't just do the bare minimum. Show up for yourself in a way that you are doing all that you can day in and day out. And that does not mean, let me clarify here. That does not mean being perfect every single day. That means doing your best that you can do every single day. There's a difference. Sometimes being perfect, you run yourself to the ground, you burn yourself out. And then you can't show up for yourself. It's not about perfection. Nobody is perfect. I know you've heard that probably a million times, but it's true. Nobody is perfect. But control what you can control, and that is showing up for yourself and doing the best that you can every single day. So again, don't just scratch the surface. Don't do the bare minimum. That will get you nowhere. If you are putting in C- effort, you will not get A+ results. You will get C- results. The effort you put in is the results that you will get out. So don't just do the bare minimum. They also don't skip out on check-ins. So this is more pertaining to coaching specifically, but this can apply even if you're not in coaching. Check in with yourself, evaluate yourself, give yourself some feedback. Are you doing what you need to be doing, or are you slacking off? Are you hitting your macros, or are you not? Are you going for your walk? Are you hitting your steps, or are you not? Are you hitting 10 ounces of water every day, or are you hitting 100 ounces of water every day? Evaluate yourself, and that is what the check-in process is. It's an evaluation. How are you doing? What's going on? What are you struggling with? What are you doing really well? And so my clients that are super successful never skip a check-in. Or if they do, it's for a good reason. Maybe they're away on vacation, or whatever's going on. But they, 99% of the time, do not skip a check-in. Even if you have a terrible week, so for me, check-ins are weekly. So even if you have a terrible week, you still check in. This allows you to evaluate how that bad week was and what you can improve on for the next week. If you skip out on evaluating yourself when things are hard, you're cutting yourself short. You're making it easy. You're cheating. You're cheating yourself. If you only check in with yourself and only evaluate when things are going really well, you might think things are going really well, but how many weeks are you doing really bad and you're just not checking in with yourself? Make sure you check in or evaluate yourself every single week. We need to know what's going on. We need to also know what's going on, not only, just to evaluate ourselves, but if there is something going on that's a little bit deeper, we need to nip that in the bud now and not drag that out for the next few weeks. So we need a big picture. We need to know what's going on a weekly basis. I need to know, again, what you're struggling with, what you need more help with, what you're doing really well with that we need to continue to do because you're getting results. We need to set goals every single week. We need to meet with each other every single week and say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I want you to do. If you're not able to do that, you're not showing up for yourself. They also ask questions. And again, this can pertain to you if you don't have a coach right now. Ask yourself questions. Evaluate. It's part of this whole evaluation. But my most successful clients do ask questions. They are curious. They want to know more. They want to learn more about themselves, about general health, about what to do, what not to do. They are curious and want to learn. If you are open to learning every day, you're going to be in a great spot because there is something to learn every day. It's like the saying, you learn something new every day. That's true. Be open to learning. Be open to invest in yourself and gain more knowledge. Ask questions when you need to. That's that point. Now, they also are not lying about their efforts. If you lie to yourself or to your coach, one, they might see it. They will see it probably, because if you're lying about your efforts, odds are you will not get the results that you want. and we'll see that you're lying, number one. But if you're lying to yourself, if you're lying to your coach, that's not going to get you anywhere. You will be as if you were in quicksand and you are not moving forward. Lying to yourself, lying to your coach will get you nowhere. Again, it goes back to not just giving check-ins. Even if you have a really shitty week, say that, own up to that. Say, I really slacked in XYZ. I know I need to improve in those areas. Okay, there's nothing wrong with having an off week. There's nothing wrong with having a week that's not as great as others. It's going to happen. But if you're constantly lying to yourself or constantly lying to your coach, how are you expected to win? How are you expected to help yourself if you just keep lying? You need to be open and honest with yourself, with your coach, so that we can better help you and you can better help yourself. And they also log everything so that I can see it. And again, same thing. You can do this on your own too. You can log things, you can keep track of things, and I highly suggest that you do, even if you don't have a coach. Log things, track things, note things down, monitor symptoms. The more that you log, the more I can see what's going on. When you are logging things, right, think of it as a log is data points. The more data points you have, the clearer the picture becomes. So if you're logging very minimal, I know very minimal about what's going on with you and how to adjust and how to help you move forward. If you're logging everything that you need to be logging, I can use these as data points to see, okay, this is going really well, we should keep doing this, or this is not going really well, we need to reconvene, we need to switch this up a little bit. So log everything so that I can see it and so that you can also see it yourself if you don't have a coach. But that includes things like how many days are you getting your steps in if you have a step goal? What is the water intake you have on average? How many workouts are you getting in? Did you miss any workouts? Track your macros. If you are tracking macros, track your macros. All of these things are data points that we can look at, evaluate, and see if it's working or if it's not working, and then adjust as necessary. So that's all encapsuled. Is that the word I'm thinking of? That is all part of showing up for yourself. So the number one thing is show up. For me as your coach, for you as yourself. Show up and do all of those things that I just mentioned. I'm telling you, if you show up and you take what is suggested for you and you run with it and you are putting in all of that work, you will be successful. So that is the biggest one of the 5 that I will say today. But number 2, second thing that all of my most successful clients have in common is they book private calls with me. Now again, this one is definitely more pertaining to coaching, not necessarily one that you can do on your own, but you can get outside perspective. You can talk to your friend. You can, again, evaluate yourself. But in terms of coaching, book private calls. This is a feature of mine. Not all coaches do this. But I do have private calls with my clients on a bi-weekly basis, on top of their weekly check-ins and on top of our 24-hour communication method that we have. So that's 3 methods of communication that I have with my clients, but this one being one of the most beneficial as well. So this is a feature of mine. Again, not all coaches have it, but use your time wisely. Book your private calls with me. Or if your coach has them as well, do them. This is your time to go so much deeper and in detail with me. Number 1, we can see what is going on. What are you struggling with? What questions do you have? If you have a problem, let's problem solve together. And on that live private call, we can live together problem solve the situation and help gear you towards what you need to be doing to have success. So this is where we go so much deeper. So much deeper on all the things that you need help with. This is also where we build relationships. And it is very important for a coach to build a relationship with a client. And if your coach is very off-putting and very distant and you don't have a relationship with them, that is a red flag. I love to build relationships with my clients, not only because it's meeting new people and it's nice to have, communication with other people, but this is our time to get to know each other. The more I build a relationship with you as a client, the better I understand your likes, dislikes, your needs, the kind of coaching style that you work best with, what you need from me. I can learn so much more about how to coach you when I build a relationship with you. And so again, if you have a coach that is not willing to build a relationship and listen to you, huge red flag, please move on. And that's all I say about that. But building a relationship is so important. A coaching program, like the one that I have, is a two-way street. It is a relationship between client and coach. It is not just me saying, here you go, this is what I want you to do, and send you on your way. No, it is about learning how you operate so that you can be more successful, and I can learn more about how to coach you properly to be more successful. So these calls that I have with my clients are not only for problem solving, for digging deeper, for asking questions. They are our time to build a relationship so that I can learn how to better coach you and you can be more successful. So use those. It's just, we go over so much more in our private calls than we do in our one-on-one text messages, in our even check-ins. Check-ins go pretty deep, but these go even deeper. So use them wisely. Book the private calls. If you have a coach that uses them, use them. If you don't, that's fine. If you still love the program, that's great. But this is definitely a feature of mine and one that I highly recommend to all of my clients, is to book your call and invest in yourself. And let's evaluate, let's build this relationship, let's problem solve together. The third thing that all of my most successful clients have in common is they're looking to learn. And this I already kind of mentioned, but you need to be open to learning. Even when things get hard, be open, have an open outlook. Be open to learning what went wrong and how can I improve. Things will get hard. It's not always going to be easy. If it was, everybody would be very well off and nobody would need a coach. There will be times when there are hiccups. The road is not smooth, it is bumpy. But we work through those together and we problem solve. So be open to learning and be open to taking criticism and feedback from your coach. This is how they're successful long-term through hardships. If you are not willing to learn from times that are hard, you will get stuck and you will plateau and not be able to move forward. It's the times that are really hard and then you learn something from that you then push forward and you are stronger for it, you are better for it, and you learned more and can use those tools that you've learned in future needs. Because again, the road is bumpy, it's not smooth. You will have hardships more than one time, more than two times, more than three times. There will be times where things get hard, but if you are learning from those hardships, you will be successful. There's a quote, and I love it, and I don't know exactly the phrase that it is, but I'm going to do my best. It's something along the lines of, failure is never a failure if you learn from it. Something like that. So you might say, this was a failure, I didn't do X, Y, Z. It is not a failure if you learn and use that learning experience for the next time something hard comes up. So be open to learning, especially through hardships. Let's problem solve together. Let's figure out how we get through this so that we can be better for it in the future. The fourth thing that all my most successful clients have in common is that they trust in the long-term process, right? I'm sure you've seen on the internet things about quick fixes and how, I don't think as much nowadays, but there was definitely a time where a lot of people were just looking for the quick fix. And that's not even to say, like, not even now. People still look for the quick fix now, but it's the ones who are invested in the long-term process and trust in that long-term process that are the most successful. Those who are looking for the quick fix and do the quick fix kind of thing often find that that quick fix comes to an end and they are back to square one eventually. So when you trust in the long-term process, you are, one, learning as you go. So you're building your artillery? I don't know what the word is that I'm thinking of, but you're building up your ammo, so to speak. When you are going through hardships, you're building up your ammo, you're learning, you're problem solving. You can figure out, again, when hard things happen again, how to overcome those because you're trusting in the long-term process. You're also more sustainable. Quick fixes, often, again, why they are a quick fix and people rebound and then go back to square one is because they're not sustainable. You go to extremes, you're cutting things out, you're doing things that normal you wouldn't do. My goal as a coach is to have you learn techniques, life skills that you enjoy doing and that you can stick with long term, and they are part of your everyday routine. It's not something that you're doing with me for the time being and then you fall off from those. No. If you fall off from the things that we are doing, I'm not doing my job as a coach. It needs to be sustainable. It needs to be something that you can stick with in order for you to stick with the results that you have. So that's another benefit of a long-term process, is that it's oftentimes way more sustainable and you have way more progress maintained from it. So yes, long-term, it might take longer than quick fix, but you will have those results for much longer than if you simply do a quick fix and then rebound. You're actually wasting more time by doing a quick fix if you're just rebounding and starting back from square one than if you took the more time to actually solidify what needs to be done and maintain those results. And know that with this long-term process, what I mean by this is that my most successful clients don't just think like, okay, I'm gonna do this for 3 months and then I'm out of here. Some clients see great results in 3 months, but my average for significant results is anywhere from, I would say, 6 to 9 months on average for clients. 3 months is 12 weeks. To put it in perspective, it took me probably to get to where I am, where I was happy and I just wanted to maintain and I was like, I'm good, I don't need to go through different phases, and like I've reached my goal from the time I started my fitness journey to the time that I was like, I love where I'm at and I've reached my goal. Like I've reached my ultimate goal physique-wise was probably, I would say, 4 or 5 years. Years. And some people think that 12 weeks is going to do it for them. I'm sorry to break the news to you. And again, you can still make great results within 12 weeks, but to make lifelong, life-changing, sufficient results, it's gonna take more than 12 weeks. I hate to break it to you, but those who trust in the long-term process are the ones that see more results and can hang on to those results for a longer period of time. And they've learned, so in the future, they can continue working on those results. So some people can see results in 3 months, some people can't. Just know that the long-term process, you're going to be more successful. And they're in it for the long haul with me. This kind of goes back to the point that I just made about the 3 months, is that, you know, some clients want out in 3 months, and that's totally fine. Maybe they've reached their goal, maybe, you know, whatever, financially or whatever it is they need out, and that's fine. But those who stick with me for a year plus, number one, I've really gotten to know them at that point, so I really know their coaching style and what works best for them and what they need. Plus, they're putting trust in me and they're playing the long game, and so they are patient and willing to learn and willing to stretch it out so that they have the best results possible for them. So that's another one. They trust in the long-term process, they trust in me, and they're in it for the long haul. They're not just looking for that quick fix. And the fifth thing that all my most successful clients have in common is that they open up to me. Again, this coaching program is not a one-way street. It is a relationship between coach and client. So if you are open up to me, I learn more about you. And I'm not saying that you have to share your whole life story and you have to share personal things and you have to get into that. I do have some clients that feel comfortable enough to do that with me, but I'm not saying that you have to do that. I am just saying that I want to know more about you and what you like, what you don't like, your style, and everything that can possibly help me help you even more. If you are a wall and you put up this big wall and you're very surface level with me, yes, I can help you see results, but it's not the same. Those who really open up to me and tell me about their struggles and tell me what they need help with and ask the questions and show me what their style is and show me their personality and what they need from me, those people will be more successful with me. So open up, don't be afraid. And again, this goes for if you have another coach too. It doesn't have to just be me, but open up to them. Don't just be a wall. Don't put up this shield around yourself. The more you open up, the more that we get to know you as a human being and as a client and what you need and what you don't need. And we can better help you with more sustainable results in the long run. So those are the 5 things. And now I want you to check with yourself, because I said a lot of these things, I'm going to be talking about in terms of actual coaching, but you can do these things on your own too. Show up for yourself, number 1. Book private calls, well, you can evaluate yourself and problem solve with yourself if you don't have a coach. Look to learn, always look to learn. There's a lot of methods that you can learn on your own without a coach. Trust the long-term process, that's easy to do on your own as well. Just know that you have to be in it for the long game. Don't just sell yourself short after a couple weeks. And open up to your coach / to yourself. Be honest with yourself. So these are the 5 main things. These are keys to success. If you want to be successful, you've got to follow these 5 things. And I hope that this kind of was an eye-opener for you, and you can say, yes, I'm doing these things, or no, I'm not, and this is where I can improve. That's great as well. But if you sign up for coaching, with me, with someone else, you are signing up for the process, and you have to be willing and invested in that process. You're investing not only in you and your health, but you are investing in the coaching commitment as well. And you need to be, again, open and willing to work on those things with yourself, with your coach. Invest in yourself, invest in your coach who you're working with. It is a commitment between the two of you. And treat your health like a commitment as well. Commit to your health and commit to bettering your health. Coaching does work. And it can help you level up if you engage in the process, if you take accountability for yourself and your actions, if you are a student and willing to learn, and are there for the experience. If you can do all of those things, coaching will work for you. I promise you. So these are keys to success. Hopefully you learned a thing or two and can evaluate yourself on how successful you are right now and where you need to be. And if you are somebody who has been on edge or wants to know more about my coaching, again, my DMs on Instagram are always open. Please let me know. I would love to talk to you about that deeper and how I can be a support for you and how I can help you reach your goals and coach you through them. Just let me know. My DMs are always open. But these are keys to success. You've got this. I believe in you. I am rooting for you. I am here to watch you win. That wraps up this episode. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Health Club with Julia podcast. If you loved the episode, share the podcast and tag me, and subscribe so you don't miss any further episodes. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a DM. Thanks for being a part of the club. See you next time.